Here today, we're celebrating our 51st anniversary of the Bill Bojangles statue. Astoria Beneficial Club wanted to recognize Bill Bojangles for taking his own money back in 1934 and paying for the statue so the kids can cross the street coming to the only African American high school in the city of Richmond. Kids came from all over the city to this one high school. There was no traffic light, and there was a lot of fatalities, so he took it upon himself to pay for this traffic light on his own. So we wanted to celebrate Mr. Bill Bojangles for that. And with the help of Reynolds Metal Company, who donated the aluminum, this statue was created in 1973.
And so today is to celebrate the life of Mr. Jangles?
Yes, and his contributions to the community.
You grew up in Richmond?
Born and raised in Richmond. I'm a product of Richmond Public Schools.
What's your earliest memories of the statue?
The earliest memories of the statue was as a child doing history class, coming out here, reading about it, learning about it. Because I also went to this school. It was called Baker at the time. It was a middle school. It was called Baker Middle School. We were often, our history teacher would bring us out here, we'd read the back of the statue and do some research on it. So I've been knowing about the statue since 77, 78.
I think you said already, but could you just say again where we are right now, like where we are standing?
We're in Northside Richmond, better known as the Jackson Ward, at the corner of Adams and Lee Street.
What does it mean to come together to celebrate this statue as a Richmond native, as an African American? Like, why do you come out here for this ceremony?
I come out here because it means a lot to me as an African American to know that the contributions that we have made over the years that have gone unrecognized, and now that we put the statue here, we have to keep the history going and notify our younger generation of the sacrifices that were made to ensure that the members of our community are safe. For a person to take money out of their own pocket is not really heard of at this day and age. And then to have the city council approve a statue, I mean, that's a public facility that's paid for by a private citizen. That's huge, and it needs to be remembered. That's one of the reasons why we memorialize the statue.
We saw a little dancing today.
Yeah, that was by Miss Felicia Mann. She's called a tap dance lady. She's studied Bill Bojangles since the early 40s. She knows all about him. She's all over the city of Richmond. She joins us every year to do a couple of steps from Bill Bojangles.
Does that feel like it's like evoking his memory a little
Oh
bit?
yeah, it's keeping his memory alive, because if we don't talk about it, the history books are not talking about it. We have to keep his memory alive because people need to know what this means. When people drive by, where's that statue? This is the reason for the statue. This is why I was here.
I know, Mr. Flowers was speaking to, Reconstruction and then post-Reconstruction and the deconstruction, this kind of like growing of like Black influence and excellence in this area, and then this sort of subsequent pullback, right? And then you have in that context, like you said, this area that like didn't have a traffic light. Can you just try to like, without giving a whole history lesson, contextualize that a little bit, like historically, like the significance of what this man's actions did for this area?
Well, if you know anything about history, you know back in the 1930s, there was a lot of segregation going on. Blacks did not have any influence, any power in Richmond, because this is the capital of the Confederacy. And for him to get this done it's amazing. And the Astoria Beneficial Club, which I'm a member of, was founded in 1901. Nobody was thinking about starting a beneficial club in 1901. All you hear is the negative part of history. You have 22 men who put up $1,000.
Sorry, can you hold for that bus to pass by? Because I was really liking what you were just saying. Could you start that part over again?
Yeah. So you go back in time, you think about 1901, nobody was thinking about African American men, 22 of them putting up $1,000 to start a beneficial club so that when African American families or family member passes away, they can pay a benefit to keep the family going, which is equivalent to $5,000 today. So back in 1901, it was unheard of for African American to even have $1,000, not to mention to start an organization. And that's what we are. We started at Astoria Beneficial Club, August 1901, with 22 men, and we've been going ever since. And so to have this statue still here, still going, and to be a part of that, it's just amazing. It's tear-jerking.
What does that make you feel?
That makes me feel warm inside. That makes me feel that there is hope. As long as we keep our head, keep pressing towards the mark, we can do anything we can if we stick together and work together and build on what has already been started. It's not even turn it down, let's build upon it. Let's all stick together and work together.
got any message maybe for like younger people who don't really know that history in that context, like why this statue matters, why the history of that project matters?
I would explore for every young person today to research African American history from 1901 and forward and see the accolades that we've done. You might have to go to a library or the African American Museum to get the real history, but the history is there. You have to go and research to find out why you're here, how you got here. You just didn't get here. People had to die for you to get here, to have the freedom and the rights that you employ right here today. And these things, they're not free, somebody had to pay for them. So it's time for you to recognize those individuals and realize where they came from and what can you do to keep the ball rolling, keep the generations going.
Beautifully said.
All right.
Is there anything else I didn't ask you about, anything you'd like to add?
Now, I just want to thank everybody for coming out today to the Bill Bojangles statue celebration. I know it's hot out here, but hey, we're dealing with some hot times right now. It's time to get our feet in the fire and make some things happen.